it's a very dangerous thing when something like Israel, where it is monitored so well, still like 7,000 people got in. That's a very scary concept when you think that they're also plotting here.
And you know what's wild about that? Zero of them came through tunnels. Israel was aware of the tunnels at the border. And I
Right,
think
and
it
was
was
watching it.
they were watching it because they knew that the threat was there. I think they underestimated the threat. And that, I'm repeating words that I've heard other people who specialize in that say. They didn't realize the breadth and depth of what was behind those smaller ones. So yeah, they were aware that there was a tunnel threat, but on October 7th, zero people actually came across in tunnels.
Yeah, and they had some threat reporting that there might be some sort of attack or something, but they were never given the magnitude it was supposed to be, right? So they
Yeah.
were really caught off guard. And as you know, there is a little bit of hubris, right? It's like, well, we're fully trained. We got these tunnels locked down, the borders locked down too. And when you get too confident, that is when the enemy strikes.
Yeah. Everybody, let's be real with each other for a second. Most doctors do not care about optimization. They do care about you, but they're checking your basic labs. They tell you that everything is looking normal, and they're going to send you on your way. Meanwhile, you're feeling tired, your performance is slipping, and you know that something is off, and that is where Merrick Health comes in. Merrick Health isn't your typical doctor's office. They're a next-level health optimization platform that actually listens to you, runs advanced lab testing, and helps you optimize your hormones, your metabolism, and your overall performance. So whether you're looking to boost your energy, maybe gain some muscle mass, or you just feel like you're not your best self anymore and you want to change that, Merrick gives you those tools and can help you make it happen. You have two options. You can go with their guided optimization program and get a dedicated health coach and medical provider to help you with supplements and prescription treatments. Or if you're more of a do-it-yourself type of person, you can order self-service lab tests and take control of your health on your own terms. The best part is, either option that you pick, you can get 10% off of your order right now. Just go to merrickhealth.com and use the code Focal Point at checkout. That's MAREK health.com with the code Focal Point for 10% off. Yeah. What do you think about Iran's influence in the region? I mean, Hamas has definitely been taking it on the chin. Iran itself, got a little bit of a visit from U.S. ordnance and Israeli ordnance. I'm just curious, how much do you think it's degraded their influence in, Palestine itself, Syria, and maybe even necessarily Iran?
It's a really interesting thing is I don't really think I know US has this talking point, they're up against the ropes, but Iran seems pretty strong among all these units. So the one thing is Iran, of course, the Hamas attack is one of the greatest terrorist attacks ever, right? So to them, that's a huge win. Even if they lost some commanders, they expect that to happen, right?
Mhm.
You want to have people sacrifice. It's a very different view than in America, right? It's a positive thing for sacrifice. Another thing is people think Iran and Syria have some great divide, but the Iranian government approved the Syrian blitzkrieg. They are communicating with the new president, Giuliani's government, right? So everything being played into the West and they're telling our politicians is just kind of a two-faced thing. Also, Hamas lost a ton of people, right, in Israel's operations in Gaza, but they have 12 terrorist camps in Afghanistan who are resurging or replussing up the numbers. And now Iran is negotiating with Afghanistan to open camps to plus up Hezbollah again. So these groups are finding other countries where they can retrain and regrow. And I think that's being ignored because you can make a lot more Hamas fighters in Afghanistan today than you can training in Gaza to begin with. So now they have better training, better infrastructure, better recruitment because they had the successful attack. It's actually a very dangerous thing when you think about it.
Yeah, God, it's such a complicated topic too, because I don't fault Australia for saying, hey, we want to be the side on ending violence, right? Like, let's find a solution to this. I agree with you. I think it's largely peacocking because let's see the solution behind this commitment. And also, how are you going to deal with what you just talked about? I mean, again, not a closely held secret that those countries are willing to facilitate those type of things, that those people go there to train for that type of reason and then execute it elsewhere. So, yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not one that has an answer to it, but it's, I think it's far from over. I think that's fair to say.
And the terrorists or even the Islamists or Muslim Brotherhood, if you don't want to even go all the way to the terrorist category and stick a little more political, they believe they're winning, right? There's the fall of Afghanistan, the fall of Syria. There's likely going to be the fall of Mogadishu, right? Like to them, there isn't a benefit to go backwards when they're getting close to the Islamic Caliphate. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. So they're like, why isn't Hamas negotiating more? Why are they acting this way? Because they have a different end goal than we see, and they feel closer to that goal than we believe they are. And it's just something you have to be honest about. They're willing to sacrifice for
Yeah.
this greater caliphate. It's just the truth.
Well, it's a difference in ideology, and it's a difference in the value of life. And I have tried with every. It's exhausting, not in a bad way, and not that it's a futile attempt, but for people who have never experienced that, it's really difficult to explain. But like, no. I get that you totally believe what you believe, but I need you to understand that there's somebody else out there who believes the opposite. And most of those people aren't going to try to kill you, but some of them will. And I don't know how to deal with that person other than some very kinetic solutions.
Yeah. And they don't know how to deal with them either. That's
Correct.
the frustrating thing.
Yeah.
In most places, they don't deal with them. And that's why we have Gaza. But, we saw in Benghazi, obviously, Al Qaeda and ISIS took over about 2013, 2014. Well, there the people said, screw it. We're going to take it to them. And the actual citizens started the war and took them and wiped them out of the city. But that is very rare. And they lost over 20,000 civilians and 8,000 troops in 2.5 years. So also taking it to these guys, and if you don't have a US, a Britain, any of these big world powers behind you, it leads to lots and lots of deaths. And it's a very sad thing.
Yeah, I think if you let it grow unchecked or get to that size, it's a huge problem. And honestly, they don't have the firepower of the US, but I saw this in both Iraq and Afghanistan. The local people are the ones who can identify instantly who doesn't belong. I can't do that visually. So they actually would be the most effective people at targeting them. And I understand in the exact same breath why they don't, especially if they're outgunned and overmatched.
Right. I mean, look at the resistance in Afghanistan now. They can't even bring in ammunition, right? It's a closed society run by terrorists, very, very, very complicated. So they have to do small operations where they kill 1 or 2 Taliban, but they can't make massive movements, right? They don't have that kind of infrastructure.
They were ghosts. Who are these guys?
I've never heard this before.
Right behind me, we have armed police. They're ready for sort of riot patrol.